Okay, how's it going, guys? It's that time of the week. Sunday, markets closed. Been marking up the charts, getting ready for the new week. So here it is. Before we do that, let's just actually check what happened with the trades we actually analyzed last week. So let's start off with USD JPY. Um, just opens. It's running really slow. Okay, so as you see, we was looking to buy off the support area here for TP1, TP2, TP3, and so far you can see it's not being the cleanest of trades, as you can see, just kind of flagging here. So that doesn't give me too much hope of this continuing, but it's still in profit so far. So happy days. What else we've got here? So we've got CAD JPY. I believe this one didn't quite go to plan. We went lower than the support level I actually wanted it to go. As you can see, he was looking at the area right there. Um, yeah, it kind of broke straight through, rejected. And I was thinking, okay, this might be going for a sell. But as you can see, it's kind of broken up again. It's retest off the area that we actually initially wanted. And it looks like it's heading up to the upside now. So we'll keep a close eye on that for this week. What else we got? What else we got? Gold. A funny one. So gold is just literally is confused. It doesn't know what he wants to do. It doesn't know if he wants to break past this trend, retest of him, go down, which is what I wanted, or if it wants to go up. As you can see, in the play that it's kind of broken past that resistance level. It's acting as support now, so we're looking for it to head up to this area slash upwards. Euro GBP, this one played out quite nicely last week. So we're looking for it to break past that trend line, retest off the back of that, head back down to this area for it to go back up. And from this week's analysis, it's looking like that might happen. So as you can see, we broke past that trend, retested off there. So it's heading down to this area now where I want it to go up. Okay, so that's looking good for this week's analysis also. And what else did we analyze? Euro USD, was that the same? Yeah, that was the same week. But Euro USD also another confused one. Quite indecisive, as you can see, was looking for that flag to be completed and to the upside, and it broke past downwards. So right now, we're either going to get retest off the back of that, head down, or we're going to break past this area again for another support area to be retested and then head up. So we'll see how that goes this week. But I've already done some markups. Let me just go to here and we'll start off with, so yeah, we can see USD JPY, exactly what I was just speaking about, where it kind of bounced off this area. And then so far, I believe we're in. Okay, so far, okay, it's been a funny one. It hit 100 pips, came back down, and then it's heading back up slowly again. So we'll see how that goes this week, but I expect it to kind of come back to this area at least to actually retest this trend line. Okay, so that trend line is found in the daily. Okay, so you can see daily, 1, 2, break, and now we expect this area right here to be respected at some point. Okay, and you already know how we find our TPs. But another thing also, if we take a fib right from the top to the bottom there, you can see the 61 level is what should potentially be met before it drops again. So I've got faith in this level being respected and then drops. And if you know that drops, yes, DJPY, if that drops, then you know gold is going up. Okay, so I'm keeping a close eye on that one for this week, and you should too. What else we got? Oh, CAD JPY and AD JPY. Yeah, you already know. We just literally went through that. So trend line, we expect this trend line to be met. As you can see, we're currently in a buy for that. From last week through the analysis, currently in a buy for that. And then we want it to kind of come to this trend line right here and then drop. Okay, so that's what we're looking at for CAD JPY. Okay, so keep another close eye on that one for this week. But at some point, I expect that level that it broke here to be retested. So we're looking at CAD JPY for sell. As you can see, it's kind of marked this up already. So it's kind of waiting for this area to be met. And then we've got a potential of 670 pips, okay, to the downside. Okay, so if I went on daily chart, you'd be able to see this clearer. And as you guys know, I always post these trade ideas on my trading view. So after this video, following up with that, then you can literally go on my trading view and literally just analyze it yourself, whatever it is you want to do, take the trade. It's totally up to you. But that's what we're waiting for, CAD JPY and AD JPY, all these JPY pairs basically. Okay. NZD, yeah, we're not looking at that. AD, NZD, yeah, we analyzed this last week also. So we saw that break of trends, breaking out this channel also, and then was looking for this support level to be met. And as you can see, it's not been the cleanest of trades, but it's on its way now. That's how I don't really like trading these kind of AD pairs because, yeah, they're very, very choppy. But if you're holding that trade, we're looking at a potential movement of nearly 300 pips over there. Okay, so if you're patient, you can literally hold this trade. As you can see, it's been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days now where it's just kind of done this, but it's still heading up. So I'll keep holding that, but it's a very frustrating trade, which is why I don't like the AUD pairs. What else we're looking at for this week? Okay, so GBP pairs is what interests me this week. This is where I feel I'm going to literally stick with GBP pairs for this week. Okay, so I've been staying away from it for a long time just due to it doing this. As you can see, it just being very choppy, not being decisive. But finally, it looks like we're getting some decisive movements now. Okay, so if I just zoom into this. Okay, so I've been working on my Elliott wave over the weekend as well, and for the last 2-3 weeks, and I'm finally implementing it into my charts properly now. I wasn't doing it on my charts properly before. I just done it in my spare time, but now it's becoming a big thing. Okay, so you can see we've got 1 impulse retracement, 2 impulse retracement, which is what I'm expecting here to be met with this trend line, or at least this level, and then another impulse there, so completing the 5th wave. And then from there, we should get this ABC retracement and then meet this trend line and then head straight back up. So this is what I'm looking for GBP USD. And if I go on the daily, you see exactly why I'm looking for that level to be met. Okay, so you can see it was previous support that got broken. So at some point it needs to be retested. And we've also got this big wick that happened a long time ago. This big wick right here. So when was this? This was the 2nd of January. Okay, so the start of the year, it bounced off there and just went up and never came back down until now, and it broke past. So what do you expect is going to happen? Okay, so we're looking at some resistance for the area. So we can literally go back into this. So you can see here also it was support in the 10th of January 2017. Here again, February 2017, resistance. Jan 2017, resistance here again, support. Yeah, you get the point. Okay, so that's a very good area that I'm looking to trade up into. Okay, so this week, I believe, is just literally going to be quite slow movements, but still a very good pip count. So the entry that I'm looking to gain once the market opens here, out to there is about 260 pips. So it's going to be very zigzaggy. It's going to take some time, but 260 pips is going to be met there eventually. And then from there, we could potentially get a break past this area, retest, and then into this trend line here. Or this is the move I'm waiting for and want it to just fall down. And as you know from previous sessions, how we get our TPs. If you're not sure, then I'll just quickly show you. But I'm looking for that to head into the area and then fall down. Okay, so as you know, we get a fib right from the top of the move. This is the most recent one. Okay, to there. So we expect it to come off this fib level, and then you see the minus 27 and the minus 61.8 is our TP1 and TP2. So usually the 27 should be met. The TP2 is usually a bonus. Okay, so obviously if you're twin trading it like I do, I just put 2 to 3 trades on and then let it run to this level, TP1, take that, and then the others kind of let it run as far as it possibly could. So obviously you have TP2 there, but sometimes I don't put the TP. I just let it run as far as possible. Okay, so that's what we're looking at for GBP USD. Again, I will post this shortly after this recording goes up. And GBP NZD. So GBP, all the pairs look very similar, all of them, all the GBP pairs. So this is what I'm looking at. So you can see Elliott wave in full effect here. So you've got the big impulse. So this was the 9th of May. I remember I caught this move right at the top here before I went on holiday to Marrakesh. And then stupid me, I came out around here, and ever since, I've never been able to get a clean entry again. So I've kind of just left the GBP pairs. But I analyzed this whole thing. I expected this to happen, but I didn't have faith in it at the time. But either way, still caught about 900 pips, I believe, until I was here. It was about 900 pips. I remember I was on holiday and I caught that. And by the second day, my holiday was already paid for. So that was a very good holiday. Okay, so that was GBP NZD. I'll show you something on a weekly. Actually, no, just before I go into that, I'll show you. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is the 4th wave I'm expecting. And then for the 5th wave to happen, it literally comes off this support area here. So you can see it's broke past that area, kind of retested a little bit here, and then fell down, and then it's headed back up to the area again. So again, I expect that to just fall down. And again, you know how we get our TP1s and TP2. So I expect that to be met and happen. So if that doesn't happen again, so it's ABC. So we'll just simply get break, retest to the upside. But I don't really see that happening, but anything happen in trading. So I'll keep an eye on that, but this is what I'm waiting for. And then we've got a nice 1,500 pips. Okay, and then now I can actually show you what I wanted to show you previously. So this is something analyzed. I'm not going to go back on my trading history view, but I posted this about in February, I believe, or March or something like that. And I was analyzing this. So I was like, man, if this move happens, it'll be crazy. Okay, so on a weekly, you can see what I'm simply going to do is do a measured move. So I'm going to simply grab that from the top to the bottom. And this is what I was waiting for. Okay, so you can see right from the top to the bottom. And look, you see where TP1 and TP2 is? Look how that measures out perfectly. That's crazy, right? So I remember in March or something like that, I posted that and I was like, if that happens, that'd be crazy. And lo and behold, it's nearly done. It's nearly done. Okay, so this is the lowest level of the pound currently. Okay, so measured move simply from there to there. That's what I'm expecting. So if that fifth wave completes to TP1, and then we could potentially hit to TP2. So the pound is really, 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 really weak right now. It's kind of basically the same price as the euro. Okay, so that's what we're looking at for GBP NZD. What else we got? GBP AUD, again, quite similar. Let me go on, analyze this on the daily. Okay, so again, we got another Elliott wave. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4. And then fifth wave, I expect it to come down to here. Again, TP1, TP2. And if TP2 meets, that'll meet perfectly with this trend line at some point. So again, that's perfect. Okay, so all of this confirmation is looking very good to me. Okay, so again, I'm waiting for that to happen. Again, another 1,000 pip move. Holding up for some time. It's going to be, I don't know, maybe 2, 3, 4 weeks that this might take to happen, but that's 1,000 pips that you don't have to worry about. And obviously, on a smaller time frame, you can literally get in and out if you wanted to, so add more to the trade. But again, if this doesn't happen, then we simply get a break of this area here, extra support, and then we head up to here. Okay, so kind of level with this area here. Okay, so that's what I'll be looking for. Okay, that's what I'll be looking for if this does break, but hopefully it does kind of retest off this area and then fall down. So that's what I'll be looking for GBP AUD. What else we got? So GBP Chef, again on a smaller time frame. I wanted to head up to this area and then fall down, and you can see it's clearly broke the trend line here. It's kind of retested there already and then fell down, but I wanted to kind of come up to that area again or close enough and then fall down again. Okay, so if we're just looking at the area, obviously we've got that big wick that happened in, again, similar to all the other GBP pairs, the 3rd of Jan, kind of wicked there and bounced up off that trend line. Okay, so if we're just looking across that area, again, we've got a nice support over there, bounced up, and that went up for a very long time. Okay, so that was a good move. Again, we've got another support here, went up for a long time, kind of a breakout, broke back in, went up, and then here we've got resistance levels. Okay, I'm not going to go all the way back, but yeah, you get the point. So this is where the trend line started from. If I just go on a weekly, so you guys can see this clearer. Okay, so just reset that. So you can see on a weekly, that trend started. Okay, so literally from there to there, and then it broke here. So you know you're now in the downtrend because it's literally broken that trend line. That's been happening since October 2016. Okay, so now we know in a downtrend, and if I go to the 4-hour now, on a 4-hour, again, similar to GBP USD, I expect this to kind of zigzag all the way up to this level. And you know, that's the support level that's been broken I was looking at. So I expect it to be zigzagging into this area and then fall down. Okay, so why is that? Okay, that was the other move I was looking at. Oh no, that is right. I was thinking, what the hell is that doing there? But it does make sense. 1 second, let me just put that back. Yeah, so entry off here, and then that'll be about 375 pip move before it falls down. Again, it's going to be very zigzaggy, like I said, in this little smaller Elliott wave. So you can see you've got impulse 1, retracement 2, impulse again 3, retracement 4, impulse 5, and then now I expect to kind of ABC to be met and meet this trend line. And then again, we have another big Elliott wave, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so why I've put that there, you can see we've had this resistance, support level being broken. So at some point it should break past that, hopefully, and then retest off there into there. And then we have that big move to the downside. So you can see I've put daily TP3 and daily TP4 because we've been holding this for a second. Okay, so since there, where was it? Around since here, we've been holding this for a second, and I analyzed it. I was like, oh wow, okay, cool. So the daily TP3 and daily TP4 should be met if that move does happen. Okay, and then we've got nearly 1,000 pip move, 965, which is quite nice. And then yeah, that completes GBP Chef. Um, so those are the GBP pairs I'm looking at. CADs, I was kind of looking at, but I wasn't too sure about it, so I left it out. But let me just go to Euro GBP quickly because I'm expecting all these GBP base pairs to move up. So if that's going to happen, I mean down. So if that's going to happen, that means Euro GBP should be shooting up. And if we're analyzing GBP, Euro GBP, then you can see this area of resistance has been broken. Okay, clearly broken. And then we expect so resistance here is kind of broken. We had a big fake out over here. And the last week I was looking at this thinking maybe it's a double top and then it was heading down. And this is why I actually analyzed it the way I did and then we went down for a sell. But just looking at that now and I see this big area of resistance previously has been broken. So if we go to the weekly, we can actually see this level clearer. Okay, so this is what I'm looking for. I want to just bounce up into there, but you can see we had resistance here, resistance there, kind of a fake out, broke back in, tucked in, went down, resistance there. If we keep on looking across that line, this area, you can see had another resistance there and that dropped a long way down. And then here, kind of resistance there again, slight support over there, broke past resistance. So yeah, we see this area right here is a very, very good, interesting one to trade off. Okay, so if this week happens like this and the market opens right now with, let me go on the daily. If the market opens right now with this being respected, okay, so I want it to come down to kind of touch this level right here. This is it should be 61.8 plus is the previous resistance level that's been broken. So if you just grab a fib from the bottom to the top, 61.8, that's what I'm looking for. And then again, you know how we get our TPs, so TP1, TP2, and then that should be a nice 500 pip move to the upside. And if that doesn't happen, if this level doesn't hold and breaks through, then you know exactly what we're looking for. It breaks through, acts as resistance, and then falls down. Okay, so if that does fall down, then yeah, we could expect a kind of head and shoulders. And what I've looked at on a weekly is for this to happen. Okay, so this might look crazy. So again, this is what I analyzed in about March, or I don't know, when was it, March or something like that. It was some long time ago. And I was thinking, I don't know how this is going to happen, but at some point this might happen. Because look, okay, so you can see clearly downtrend, break. Okay, so every time a trend is broken, what do you expect? A retest of that trend line at some point or the nearest support level. But as you can see here, we had another trend coming from the bottom. So I drew this in March thinking, I don't know how this is going to happen, but it's going to happen at some point. And I don't know, it might happen. Okay, so look, trend line. So this is just predicting the future because I know this trend, one, it's bounced off there, two, is bounced off there again. So I just put that there. I said, I don't know when it's going to happen, but it's going to happen at some point, maybe. Or this trend line is going to be met. So you can see this has been going sideways for the longest time. For the longest time. Okay, so this is where I started looking at this around March. Yep. And then, yeah, you can see if this does break and retest, so maybe we might potentially get that move into there now. Okay, so if this does break that support level and then retest off there, I'll just literally try to sell up to this level here. Okay, so if that does happen, we're looking at a potential 1,000 pips. Okay, so if that does happen and if this goes down, that means all the GBP pairs would go up. GBP base pairs would go up. So this is an interesting one to look at. Okay, so let's not get carried away. Let's just look at the short term for now. Okay, so short term, we're looking for this level here to be met and then kind of bounce up. But if it doesn't, as you've heard me say, we'll just look for a retest into there and then for the sell. Okay, so that's Euro GBP. So that's all the GBP pairs out of the way. And the other things I'm looking at, Euro NZD, quite similar to Euro GBP. Again, with the Elliott wave and higher lows, higher highs, you can see we had a lower here, high, lower high. Yeah, you get the point. It goes all the way. And then I put this as red because this area I was expecting to kind of come down and then kind of retest off this area kind of here. Where's my arrow gone? I wanted it to come up, retest off this area here, and then fall down. But as you can see, it just clearly kept on going. Okay, so now we're broken past that resistance area. You can see that resistance area very clearly has been broken. Okay, so now what do you expect to happen? It's broken past here as well. Okay, so now we expect it to come to act as support and then head up. And again, you know how we find our TPs. Quite simple. Grab the Fibonacci from the bottom to the top. I expect that 50% level to be met, but you can see we've also got some slight support over here. So this is why I kind of drew this box. Why is it not clicking? You can see this is why I've drawn this box instead of just like this. I've drawn it into here because you can see we've got a slight support over here. So anywhere within this area, I'll be looking to kind of buy this again. So you can know, minus 27 and 61.8, TP1, TP2. Okay, so again, if that happens, we're looking at about 1,000 pips. Okay, so again, this is not like a thing that's going to happen in 2 days. You're going to you have to be very patient. So this could take 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. I don't know. But it's going to take some time. But you can literally just leave that trade in to let it do what it's going to do. And then if you want to keep it closing and entering, then you can keep doing that every time it retraces. Or you just leave the positions you have open, do a trade and stop loss and add to that position. And now you've got by the time this is done, you'll have about 7 to 10 trades open and all of it is just gaining profit. And then if it does retrace at any point and kind of takes you out, hits your stop loss or whatever, then all the other trades that you've had running since the beginning will make up for that. So you've been making money all this time. So this is what I do. These are little tips and tricks I'm giving you to actually go and do this yourself if you wanted to. Okay, so Euro AED, exactly the same thing. So quite a weird one, and it doesn't look pretty at all. But you can see you had that big impulse, retracement, impulse, retracement, impulse, and now I expect this level to be met because you can see clearly there's previous support over here. Resistance, 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 resistance. Okay, if we keep going, it didn't quite come up to that level, but resistance there. Okay, very nice resistance there, wicked into it, dropped. Okay, again here, resistance dropped, resistance dropped. So I'm looking at level thinking it has to act as support if it's broken past right now, because that was a very key area, very, very key area. So yeah, nothing much more is happening. Here we go. Okay, so you can see very nice support over there, and that bounced up a lot in 2008. That went up a lot. Okay, so we know that area is very, very, very key. Okay, so when the market opens in about 7 minutes now, I expect this to kind of look at what is happening, add to support, and then break to the upside. Okay, so that's what I'm looking at. That's what I'm looking at there, and then TP1, TP2. Okay, so that's all. Oh yeah, USD CAD. How can I forget my USD pairs? Okay, so this has already started happening since Friday. I've been in this trade. Since Friday, I've been in this trade, and so far it's done. Yeah, about 70 pips. It's about 70 pips. Yeah. Okay, so you can see I was looking at this deeper retracement area of the 78% fib, just purely due to. Let me go on a weekly, because it might make this clearer. Okay, so on a weekly, I found this happening. Okay, I found this little channel. Okay, so I said, okay, cool, it's broken past that trend now. So at some point, it needs to retest this trend. So I was like, cool, I'm looking at these levels here, and I just drew this board. So you can see we had resistance there, and it dropped, kind of floating around this area, and then now it looks like it wanted to act as resistance there again. So just put my line there, act as a resistance, and get into the trade. Okay, so again, you grab your fib right from there to the bottom, and then you can see we had these levels, and then it met with that trend line, hit it once, dropped, and then came and acted as a double top. And then now we're in the sell for that. Okay, so TP1, TP2, by the time this is done, we should have a nice 500 pips. If it does act accordingly and drops all the way down, then we should have a nice 500 pips from that trade. Okay, so if the market does open, I won't be surprised if it comes down to this trend, bounces up, and then comes back down again. So look out for that when the market opens. And that's USD CAD. I posted it last week as well on my trading view, so I'm not going to post that one again, but just have a look out for that. And then finally, we got USD Chef. Actually, not finally, we got gold after this. USD Chef on daily. Okay, so you can see we had that trend. Let me just delete these fibs, but you can see this fib level. I was expecting a 50% level to be met, but also at the same time, you can see we had a clear support over here, resistance over there. So I put the green line, not quite the 50% fib, which would have been around here. I put it here because I can see clearly resistance, support. So I put the green line there. So when the market opens, this could potentially still this could be a nice entry still. So hopefully it just kind of breaks past a little bit and then comes back down. If not, it just breaks past. And as you know, have the ABC, breaks past, and then heads up. But I expect this to kind of head down because USD CAD has kind of done the same thing. So again, I'm looking at this area thinking it should hold and actually fall down. So if we're looking at a line chart, that was a very nice area, very nice area. So I'm just looking across that. Well, let's not do that right now, just due to time purposes. Okay, so that's what I'm looking at for USD CAD, for this to just kind of hold and then fall down into there. Okay, so again, if that happens, then we're looking at about 350 pips, 340 pips. Okay, so we'll keep a close eye on that one. And finally, what I'm looking at this week is gold. So we've got a couple potentials of gold, and it's very touchy, very, very touchy pair to trade. It's like very indecisive, but when it moves, you don't wanna miss it. Okay, so you can see last week I was looking for this area to be respected and drop into this trend line here. But it doesn't look like that wanted to happen. I wanted that to just drop and come into here, respect that trend. But you can see we've got break, support, and since when the market is about to close, I put a buy. So hopefully my stop loss is just below here. Hopefully hopefully the market opens and it's just up here, and I've got a nice take profit. If not, it was worth a try. But you can see it's just been trading in and around this zone. Okay, it's just been trading in and around this zone here. Okay, so at some point it needs to break out of this zone, and if it does, you can see I've got this line here, or should I say the shaded area, to head up into that area, or I want it to come into this area here and then bounce up. Okay, so if you're looking at that area, I'll show you exactly why I've got those there. So if I just go on a weekly, okay, so if I just go on a weekly, you can see this clearer now. Okay, so you can see previously we had that resistance 1, 2, 3, well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it broke. So at some point I expect it to come down and act as the support here and then bounce up again. And then you can see on the bigger time frames why I've got these lines here. So you can see they're all kind of support, resistance, support. Yeah, you get the point. So for the long term, I'm just looking to trade gold upwards because, yeah, I believe that's what's happening. Gold standard is getting very strong right now, very, very strong. So you can see I'm just looking to trade this into these levels here. So if I just even grab a fib, okay, right from the top there to the bottom there, 61.8 level is just about met right now. Okay, so it could bounce here. And you can see I've got these parallel lines here. So it could literally just drop down. This channel, should I say? So 61.8 is being met. But I won't be surprised if this goes even higher. Okay, because gold standard is just getting ridiculously strong. Okay, so yeah, that's what I'm looking for. And if this channel does respect, as I wanted it to, you can see just drop down into this trend line and then head up potentially. And that will be a very, 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 very nice move because that'll be about 2,000 pips on gold. And if you know about trading gold, you know that's a lot of money, even on the 0.01. Okay, so that's what I'm looking at. But yeah, that's literally all I'm looking at for this week. So yeah, I'll post that one markup soon, and then you could literally watch this back if you wanted to. But yeah, just check out the Trading View, check out the YouTube channel, subscribe to it, and then like I said, I'll be doing this every week. And then yeah, let's catch some pips, man. Take care.